Hi friends, today I am going to start with Advanced Bank Management, and the first module is Module A, Economic Analysis. I am going to start with the Monetary Policy and Fiscal Policy, Chapter 8. Friends, if you like my video, please comment and subscribe. Unit 8, Monetary Policy and Fiscal Policy. The main policy or tools by RBI, reverse repo rate, OMO operations, MSF, etc. So we can discuss. Monetary policy in India is a tool by which central bank controls the supply of money, availability of money, cost of money, etc. So it can be expansionary policy or a contractionary policy. If expansionary policy is traditionally used to combat unemployment, so expansionary policy combats unemployment, whereas contractionary policy involves raising interest in order to combat inflation. So expansionary combat unemployment and contractionary combat inflation. Fiscal policy is by Government of India. Fiscal policy refers to government borrowing, spending and taxation. Tools of monetary policy. The following are the instruments used by RBI to regulate the availability, cost and use of money. First is bank rate. It is also known as discount rate. This can be asked as MCQ, and it is aligned to what? MSF. Bank rate, also referred to as discount rate, is rate of interest at which RBI is ready to buy or rediscount bills of exchange or other commercial papers, and this rate is aligned to MSF. So it changes automatically as and when MSF rate changes alongside policy repo rate changes. Next is cash reserve ratio, CRR. It's a present banking system is also called as fractional reserve banking system. This is important. Fractional reserve banking system, as the banks are required to keep only a fraction of their deposit liabilities in the form of liquid cash with the central bank for ensuring safety and liquidity of deposits. So we use this CRR to deposit liquid cash with the RBI, and it is 4% of NDTL normally, that is 4% net demand and time liabilities, time deposits of the bank. For example, CRR is 4%, and if we have rupees 1 lakh, so we have to deposit 4,000 with the RBI's liquid cash. How is CRR used as a tool of credit control? So CRR was introduced in 1950 primarily as a measure to ensure safety and liquidity of the bank. However, it has become an important and effective tool for directly regulating the lending capacity of banks and controlling the money supply in the economy. So it's a major factor for controlling money supply in economy. So if CRR is increased, what happens? In 1 lakh, most of the if CRR is increased by greater than 4%, more money will go to RBI as liquid cash. So RBI can directly control money supply with the CRR using the tool CRR. Next is SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. SLR refers to the amount that all banks require maintaining in cash or in the form of gold or approved securities. So this has to be maintained as liquid cash or gold by every bank. Here approved securities, we mean dated securities, government bonds, etc. And this is also as a percentage of net demand and time liabilities. And the liabilities that banks are liable to pay within 1 month's time due to completion of maturity period are also considered as demand liability. In India, RBI of India always determines a percentage of SLR. So our SLR is determined by RBI, is usually 20% of NDTL. SLR is maintained in order to control the expansion of bank credit. It is SLR in a way ensures solvency of commercial banks. RBI compels commercial banks to invest in government securities like government bonds through SLR. So banks have to invest some amount, some cash in government securities. Market stabilization scheme, it is used to absorb liquidity from the system. It is here RBI, after consulting with the government of India, it issues the existing instruments such as treasury bills or other dated securities into the market for absorbing liquidity from the system. So it sells these securities to the market and it absorbs liquidity or cash from the economy. So it is the main use of MSS tool called the MSS, and it is as treasury bills or dated government securities. Next is repo rate. RBI lends short-term money to banks. Repo rate or repurchase rate is a rate at which RBI lends short-term money to banks. When the repo rate increases, borrowing from RBI becomes more expensive. Therefore, we can say that RBI wants to make it more expensive for banks to borrow money. It increases repo rate. Similarly, vice versa, it wants to make it cheaper for banks to borrow money. It reduces repo rate, etc. Reverse repo rate is the rate at which banks park their short-term excess liquidity with RBI. RBI uses tool when it feels there is too much money floating in the banking system. So, using reverse repo, too much money that is floating in the banking system is absorbed by RBI. An increase in reverse repo rate means RBI will borrow money from banks at a higher rate of interest. So, banks will be happy to park their excess liquidity with RBI so that they will get higher rate of interest. So, this is another tool, repo and reverse repo. Next is OMO, open market operation. Buy or sell government securities in secondary market is a use of OMO. Under OMO, RBI buys or sells its government bonds in secondary market, and this by absorbing bonds, it drives up bond yields and injects money into the market. When it sells bonds, it does so to suck money out of the system. So, if RBI sells bond, what happens? The money from the market is absorbed. If it buy bond, what happens? More liquidity is injected into the market. Next is LAF, liquidity adjustment facility. It consists of overnight and term repo, reverse repo auctions. Progressively, RBI has increased the proportional liquidity injected in the LAF through term repos. Term repos, it can be of tenure 7 or 14 or 28 days to inject liquidity over a period that is longer than overnight. So, the aim of term repo is to help develop interbank money market, which in turn can set market-based benchmark for pricing of loans and deposits, and through that improve transmission of monetary policy. So, term repos are dated for 7, 14, and 28 days. MSF is a facility under which scheduled commercial banks can borrow additional amount of overnight money from RBI by dipping into their SLR portfolio. So, they can borrow money from their own SLR portfolio, that is liquid cash that a bank has to keep itself at a penal rate of interest, currently 0.5% above repo rate. This provides a safety valve against unanticipated liquidity. So, if unanticipated liquidity shock comes, these banks can use this MSF facility to borrow money. How did monetary policy in India respond to global financial crisis in 2008? So, our Reserve Bank of India, how it dealt with the global financial crisis in 2008. First, the process liquidity injection, the counterparties involved were banks. Even liquidity measures for mutual funds, NBFCs and housing finance companies were largely channeled through banks. These are the difference. Reserve Bank of India and Central Bank of other countries dealt with the monetary policy during global financial crisis. Second, there was no dilution of collateral standards, which were largely government securities, unlike the mortgage securities and commercial papers in advanced economies. So, Dilution of collateral standards were not present. Third, despite large liquidity injection, RBI balance sheet did not show unusual increase unlike global trend because of release of earlier sterilized liquidity. Earlier sterilized liquidity release caused RBI balance sheet to not show unusual increase unlike global trend. Fourth, availability and deployment of multiple instruments facilitated better sequencing of monetary and liquidity measures. Finally, the experience in the use of pro-cyclical provisioning norms and counter-cyclical regulations ahead of global crisis helped enhance financial stability. Fiscal policy. In economy, fiscal policy uses government spending and revenue collection to influence the economy. Fiscal policy can be contrasted with the other main type of economic policies, which is monetary policy. Monetary policy governed by RBI, fiscal policy government of India. Is monetary policy attempts to stabilize economy by controlling interest rates and supply of money. The two main instruments of fiscal policy are government spending and taxation. So, fiscal policy has two instruments: government spending and taxation. Up to here, we discussed about RBI's monetary policy and its tools. Now we are discussing about fiscal policy and its tools, and its tools are this government spending and taxation. FRBM Act, History of Fiscal Policy Responsibility and Budget Management Act, summarized as follows. FRBM Act requires, this is important, first it requires government to place before Parliament 3 statements each year along with the budget covering medium-term fiscal policy strategy and macroeconomic framework. These 3 statements has to be given along with the budget by Government of India. This content is prescribed in the Act and format is also prescribed in this FRBM Act. Second, the Act lays down fiscal management principles, making it incumbent on the centre to reduce the fiscal deficit. So it has to reduce the fiscal deficit to 0 or less than 3% of GDP, and it has to eliminate revenue deficit by 31 March 2008. Third, the Act prohibits centre from borrowing from RBI. That centre does not borrow from RBI. It bans deficit financing through money creation. So, it must not borrow from RBI for its deficit. Government does not borrow money for its deficit financing. RBI is also burdened from subscribing to primary issues of central government security. So, if RBI has to subscribe to these issues of government, central government security, RBI cannot deal with the other issues of banks. So it prohibits Government of India to borrow from RBI. Temporary ways and means advance to tide over cash flow problems are permitted by FRBM Act. This is the only thing that is permitted by Government of India to borrow from RBI. No other borrowings are permitted under FRBM Act. Main theme of FRBM Act is to reduce dependence of government on borrowings and to reduce fiscal deficit in phased manner. So, Government of India has to zero fiscal deficit in phased manner, and it must reduce the dependence on RBI. So that is all from this chapter. If you like this, please subscribe and also share this video with your friends, and I will be discussing other chapters and also problems which are asked in our CIB exam. So stay tuned. Thank you.